Hey, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and we're back for part 2 of making my little custom creatures, the Willows. And all I've done is I base coated them in tan with a spray rattle can. I didn't like it, and I hit them with just a watered down burnt umber craft paint, and then let them sit in front of the fan. And I didn't hit everything perfectly, and that's okay, because that's going to work for our paint jobs. So what I want to do now is I want to get a makeup brush, something soft. This will work. Let me get something bigger, actually. This. I'm going to get a medium brown, and this is melted chocolate. I'm just going to get a dab of that here. I'm going to get this really soft makeup brush. And then I'm going to come around. And I'm not doing an enormous job on these, you know. I'm just kind of touching them and creating some variation with this big brush. I do want to kind of hit the faces somewhat, so they have two tones to start from when we start brushing these with something smaller that we can get around better. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with what I got there. It's nothing spectacular, but it's going to ultimately help our goal. Now I'm going to get that smaller paintbrush, this one, and I'm going to get a medium or a lighter brown. And this is called nutmeg brown. It's got an orangish tint to it. And I'm going to leave all that how I just did, and I'm not going to dry that up, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wipe a lot of this off, something like that. And then I'm going to come in from above and kind of hit knees, elbows, arms, heads. With the wettest of it. I'm going to come around and hit their little butts. Alright, now I'm going to get a lighter brown. This is called khaki. This is like a tan. And I'm going to get a medium gray, or a light gray I should say. This is called elephant, if I can find it. Can I take it away? Lost my elephant gray. I can't find it. Oh, here's an old one. Oh, here it is. I found it. I put it in the color bin instead of in the earth tones bin. Okay. So what we want to do here is we're going to get that brown and that gray and make it kind of really, really light color. And we want to wipe a lot of that off. Okay. That's really soft there. We want to kind of pick out little spots on them that we want to show lightened up. And this is going to make them do what we want for the end game too. This is going to give them a little bit of variation between each one and make them look interesting and unique. You want to hit these a couple times, just give these a look. Give them a look. Give them a little something to stick out on them. You don't want them to look like you put no effort into them. So this step will actually provide some of that. Okay. So we're going to take that same brush and hit around the bases and just create some variation on there. And I wouldn't worry about focusing on the bases too much, because we are going to be flocking those too. Okay. Now for the hair. Here's what my plan is. I'm going to get some different greens. This is English ivy. And I'm just going to get a smaller brush. I'm going to get my English ivy. And I'm going to get in here. And I'm not like focusing on painting every piece of the hair, because I want these to look like they were dying vines, or maybe a dying willow tree or something. I don't know. Like some kind of vegetation that's not in its prime. Because these came from like a swamp or a forest that a witch has corrupted. Okay. So again, try not to cover every piece of those if you can. You want to do something like this where it's some of it's green and some of it's brown. Because you don't want to lose, the thing is, these are not healthy born normal creatures. These are like a sylvan or a fey aberration almost. You know, they're created through dark magic, and not intentionally, by the way. They're a side effect of too much evil. So now with that same green, I'm going to touch some spots on the base just to add something different to these. Now, I'm not putting a lot of effort into that either. I'm just dabbing around with them. Then I'm going to hit them with the +2 hot air gun of burning. I'm going to rinse that brush out. Oh, my dry brush is still... +2 hot air gun of burning. And then this last step might end up being a mistake, but I can't even know yet. I'm going to get a tiny bit of this green. And I'm going to get a brighter green. This is called palm leaf. That's way more than I wanted, and it's not mixed up well. I'm going to get this brush to mix those. And I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to get a makeup brush. I'm going to wipe a lot of that out. And then I'm going to touch around on their hair with that and create some different greens and make these a little brighter in the same moment. I don't want to hit every spot. I'm just trying to brighten these up and make them a little more attractive, a little more aesthetically pleasing. Okay. Once you're pleased with their hair part, or it's really not hair, it's like a foliage. Once you're pleased with that, what you want to do is you want to get some clear glue. Okay. And then get a brush, something smallish. What I want to do with mine is I want to do on the back of their back, on the side or whatever, onto their arm maybe, onto their leg. With each one I want to do it just kind of where I was. And then we want to do across the tops where their hair and their heads meet. And that's why when I said before it didn't matter if they had headbands or not. This is why, because of this step. Because there's going to be unnatural seams there that we don't necessarily enjoy or like. Okay. You want to get your flock, and I'm using a really fine green flock for mine. I'm going to do each one individually. I'm going to sprinkle it on their head, and then on their back and legs, or wherever I put that glue on each model. And again, I did each model a little different. And it's okay if some of this gets on their hair and stuff too. It won't hurt anything. Any places where it sticks is fine. Just leave it. Okay. Something like that. This guy's didn't get good coverage on his head. I'm going to dab it with my finger to make sure it sticks well. Same with this front guy. He didn't get good coverage. Okay. They're pretty much ready. We need to put some on their bases. We need to get some glue and put some of that too. I didn't even think about that. Let's do that real quick. Let's get that same brush I just had. Get glue. Okay. Now we gotta do their eyes. And to do their eyes, what I want to do is I'm gonna get some black, and I'm gonna color in each eye hole. A little bit big and ridiculous. I'm just going to go a little bit overboard on these. If you got flock down in your eyes like I did, you should clean it out before you do this, in my opinion. I did not, and I am regretting it. Okay. So they just have like goopy black holes. And that's very pronounced and noticeable. And then I'm going to come back with a very tiny brush after I hot air gun them. Now I'm using a really light color for my eyes. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use red for my dots. I think that might look nice, if you can see it on that black backdrop anyways. With how small I plan on making these dots. Okay, and there we go. There's a unit of 4 of my little willow men. I don't know what I'm calling them yet. Maybe in the video description I'll think about it a little bit. But I mean, obviously it's going to say custom mob like I always do when I make something from scratch. But these are a decent size, small. You could say they're medium if you wanted to. Size-wise, they are as big as a medium miniature, okay? But they're very light because they're hollow. And the only way they can be killed is with fire, or just being bludgeoned to death or slashed to death or whatever, you know. They're going to take half damage from piercing. They're going to take double damage from fire. They're going to take double damage from slashing. They are going to have an unnatural hide in a natural environment. So, like, it wouldn't be just like opposed hide checks. A magic influence or something would be required. So thanks for watching. Please hit like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave me a comment. Go to the website, check out our miniatures, and maybe buy some of those. They're cool. They're not these ones, they're real miniatures. It joins on Discord. We can play some tabletop games there online. We can play video games. We can, you know, talk about crafting and paint together or craft together. It'd be fun. So thank you very much for your time.